Hello and welcome to Just One More Watch. Welcome to a bit of a quickie review today of a new old Casio that I picked up a couple of weeks ago. It is the DW-5900 and it is an almost one-for-one faithful replica of a classic G-Shock from the 90s. Classic because it was the first Casio G-Shock to use the now signature 3 circular register layout on the dial. You'll see that when I flip the camera in just a minute or two. And as I'm sure you've worked out from the video title and the thumbnail today, it appeared on John Goodman's wrist as Walter in the 1998 Coen Brothers cult classic, The Big Lebowski. If you fancy watching that one, make sure you have enough vodka, Kahlua and milk in the house to get you through it. This watch proving once again that you can get a little bit of Hollywood on your wrist for a lot less than it takes to buy one of Daniel Craig's Omega Seamasters. This is just another in a long line of Casios that have featured in the movies, from Dev Patel's calculator watch from Chappie, Michael J. Fox's calculator watches from the Back to the Future series, Keanu Reeves' G-Shock from Speed, or Tom Cruise's Casios from the Mission Impossible franchise. So nostalgia abounds with this one, but is that enough to get it over the line in 2021? Let's flip the camera and find out. So how much are you paying for one of these then? Well, $85 seems to be the going rate, and eBay seems to be the place to go for choice and price anyway. I'll leave a link in the description of the video. You don't have to go for the one that I went for though. No shortage of options. Casio have really gone to town here. There's orange ones, purple ones, green ones, black ones, orange, purple, green and black ones all at the same time. They've gone a bit mad. Where did I get mine and how much did I pay for it? Well, I'll tell you later on and it'll make sense when I do tell you. Because it's a G-Shock, you get the cardboard box outer, the nice little metal tin inner, international warranty card and overly thick module instruction manual. And of course, the watch. So any 90s kids getting all misty-eyed, all nostalgic over this one already? Did any of you have one of these back in the day? No shortage of colour on this reissue anyway. You've got the white here, red, bit of blue, green for those two circles, and it's almost like a kind of peach coloured, sepia brown coloured centre one. These ones count up in tens and then count down in tens. They also come into play with the chronograph, as I'll show you later on. But yeah, mostly for show, if I'm being honest. The one in the middle actually shows you what modes you're in, etc, etc. Let's talk about the dimensions first before I run you through the features a bit later on. It's a big boy. If you measure it on the angle, it's 44, but a true diameter dimension across the middle is 46.4. It's also thick and chunky at 15.5. Lug to lug is 51, and because it's a G-Shock, lug width is a bit of a moot point. 18mm, but you're not going to be swapping it off of the resin band anytime soon unless you go for one of the specific adapters needed to do so. Weight though, because it's all resin, a trifling 61 grams. So then, as quickly as I can, module 3465, what does it do? Well, main display down here, obviously, hour, minute, tick and second, AM, PM, because I have this one set in 12-hour time rather than 24-hour time, day of the week, and date of the month. If you press the adjust once in this time mode, it shows you where your home city is. Press the mode once and you're into world time, so it has a proper world time function. You can set one of those to always display, but it'll cycle through the usual selection of world cities and time zones. You can also switch summertime on and off on all of those. Next mode and you're into stopwatch, start, stop and reset. One mode on and you've got a 24-hour countdown timer. One mode on after that and you have 1, 2, 3, 4 alarms. You can also set a snooze on the alarm and a time signal, a chime on or off at this point. Top right button engages the electroluminescent backlight. Now you can adjust this to go off for 1.5 seconds or 3 seconds. Obviously 3 seconds will consume the battery more. Now the camera is not lying here. You're better holding this one at an angle. It's not the most legible watch after dark. It's not the most legible watch during the day either, to be honest. But before I start moaning, let's have a look at all this retro goodness outside in natural light. All of those colours really do do work quite well on this one, I think. As mentioned, the two outer circular registers just count up in blocks of 10 and then count down in blocks of 10. They will show you a tenth of a second if you are in stopwatch mode. It's the center circle that highlights whether the alarm's on or off, whether you've got the hourly chime signal, you're in summertime mode, you've got the mute engaged, or you have clicked on snooze to give you an extra couple of minutes in bed. And when you zoom in even further, there's another little nod to the 90s there with all of those little square patterns, all those kind of square hash markings. Very, very retro indeed. So 200 meters of water resistance as with all G-Shocks, and that is just a plastic dial covering. It will scuff and scratch. Polywatch is your friend though to take all of those scratches out, and as you can see here, if I tip the watch forward, the bezel does protrude above that glass to protect it, again like all G-Shocks. On wrist though, my problems with this one begin to emerge. I don't have John Goodman's wrist. Not that I'm necessarily complaining about that, but I think the watch probably suits him better than it suits me. It is a big beast, certainly compared to a number of other G-Shocks that I have in my collection. I don't think it's ridiculous, and at 61 grams you can totally get away with wearing a large watch if you want to, but yeah, you can definitely see the 46.5mm diameter dimension, and you can definitely see the 15.5mm thickness. It does jut out a little further because of the integrated resin band also. By way of comparison, this is my positively svelte Casio coming in at 12.4mm thick. Admittedly, the Casio is the thinnest Casio G-Shock they've ever made, but yeah, you can definitely tell there's a few generations of models between these two, can't you? So how did I end up with this one then? Well, I bought it from my good friend Ashley over in Melbourne. Bit of a catch and release for him. He was looking for a G-Shock, bought this one, but his eyes are a few years older than mine, aren't they, Ashley? And he had trouble with that small display. Not the biggest display considering the size of the watch, is it? I mean, look how small those numerals are compared to my Solar G-Shock 5600, for example. Or to really put things into perspective, that's it next to a Casio W-5900. The Arabics on here must be at least twice the size as they are on the 5900. So a fun watch then, but not necessarily the most practical G-Shock you can buy in this day and age. There are thinner models available, there are cheaper models available, there are far more legible models available as well. So yeah, this one is pretty much about the nostalgia, it's about those colours, it's about those three circular displays. If you're a fan of the movie, if you're a fan of Casio in general, and you feel you need to pick up one of these to complete your collection, or you just want to pick up one of those outrageous colorways, then go for it, but do so with fair warning. So there you have it. Well done for making it to the finish of what was a fairly short video after all. If you like the idea of Hollywood on a budget, why not check out my top 10 budget watches in the movies? Or if you like the idea of a Casio G-Shock that's a bit more legible on this one, buy a Square. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in a future video.